The transfer window is just one day away, and Celtic are gearing up for a busy summer as they continue their search for a new manager, and of course buy and sell players. In today's video we have a very exciting news after Fabrizio Romano's latest update, which claims that the Hoops could land a multi-million-pound windfall this summer. We will go through this, of course, whilst discussing all the latest Celtic news from the last 24 hours. But first remember to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel for daily Celtic content. Majority shareholder Dermot Desmond's private plane has landed in Glasgow on Tuesday morning as speculation over Celtic's next manager reaches fever pitch. Brendan Rodgers has been heavily linked to a return to the club, particularly in the last 48 hours. Fans are attempting to put two and two together and believe the former Celtic boss is on his way back to the club for a second spell with Desmond leading the welcoming party. There hasn't been an official word from the club as of yet, but Desmond's attendance in Glasgow is significant. The last time there was a snap of Desmond in Glasgow, it was with Ange Postecoglou at Celtic Park. Weeks later, Ange was gone. We believe those talks were about trying to convince Ange to stay and build. Now Desmond's presence at Celtic Park could be to finalise the next Celtic manager. We are keeping an eye on things as this story develops. It was unthinkable a few years ago that Rodgers would ever be back at Celtic. Now there seems to be big support for a second run as a Celtic boss. This is what we know so far. Michael Nicholson met Brendan Rodgers over the weekend in Spain. Dermot and Brendan have been exchanging calls and texts for the past week. A private jet left Mallorca on Monday afternoon and touched down in London. Rodgers has been open to a return. Former Celtic defender Jeremy Frimpong is wanted by European giants such as Barcelona, Bayern Munich and Manchester United. This is according to transfer guru Fabrizio Romano, who claims that the Bayer Leverkusen star is thought of highly by all three clubs. Frimpong joined the Bundesliga side in January 2021, after a successful 18-month period at Parkhead. Writing on Twitter, Romano said, Jeremy Frimpong remains one to watch this summer, as his agent met with Barcelona, Bayern Munich and Manchester United almost 2 months ago. He scored 9 times and provided 11 assists across all 48 appearances last season, and also made his debut in the Champions League. The Dutchman has also travelled to Qatar as part of his country's World Cup squad, but did not feature during the competition. Reports have stated that Celtic have a 30% sell-on clause on any profit made in the deal involving Frimpong. Meanwhile, Celtic have agreed a deal in principle to sign Norwegian midfielder Odin Thiago Holm. This is according to a report from the outlet TV2 Sport, which claims that Vålerenga and Celtic have in practice agreed on a transfer for the 20-year-old for a total package of around £2.5 million. It also stated that the 20-year-old is currently on a holiday and is likely to complete a medical on his return. Holm played 26 times for Vålerenga last year, scoring 3 goals and providing 1 assist. He also made 12 appearances during the current campaign. The attacking midfielder recently followed the Scottish champions on Instagram, adding fuel to the speculation that he's set to become a Hoops player. Brendan Rodgers' potential return to Celtic makes no sense. That's the viewpoint of TalkSport pundit Simon Jordan. The former Crystal Palace owner can't see the logic in the Northern Irishman returning to the Premiership champions. It emerged last night that the 50-year-old had spoken with Hoops chief executive Michael Nicholson in Mallorca about the vacant post. But Celtic's recruitment process still remains unclear at this time, with Enzo Maresca also high on their shortlist to replace Ange Postecoglou. Rodgers spent 2.5 seasons with Celtic, raking in trophy after trophy, but in February 2019 he departed mid-season for Leicester City, which understandably attracted hefty criticism from large elements of the Celtic support. Jordan said this morning, if he goes back to Celtic, I'm not sure what that says about where his career is going, with due respect to Celtic, but they will get a capable manager. I would be surprised if that was a route that either party wanted to go down, because you've got this background noise of Celtic fans who are disillusioned with him or disappointed with the way he left, and unfortunately people must be judged by their last event. He was responsible in part for the way his team got relegated. So the most important thing to remember right now is his current version. Whether that's good enough for Celtic, whether Celtic want to bring him back to the equation, I would be surprised. I don't think it's a fit that works. Economically, it doesn't seem to fit, and for where he wants to go to manage, because he went to Scotland to come back to the Premier League, obviously because that's what he did. It's a very strange dynamic to say, I'll skulk back to Scotland to give myself another opportunity to come back to the league that I actually want to manage in. But if these guys have got a private jet, no one is that narcissistic that they want someone else to get on a private jet and fly out so they can tell them what they could have told them on the phone. Martin Keown, who also appeared alongside Jordan and Jim White on the show today, defended Rodgers' managerial record and the trajectory of his career. He added, what he achieved was quite incredible, and he actually did do an overall a good job at Leicester. 5th place twice and an FA Cup win. In their history, that is quite remarkable. I don't see him going back. I think it's flattering for him that they should turn up in numbers to see him like that, but probably he's looking forward to coming back to the Premier League. I think he'll be looking for something else because he's a very ambitious manager. There was a stage where we thought he was going to leave Leicester himself. I just feel there are other things on the radar for him. Maybe he goes abroad. Maybe he wants to equip himself with more knowledge, more growth, and develop himself a little bit, and come back a little later to the Championship or Premier League. At the moment, he's probably still hurting and coming to terms with what happened. Jordan came back and said, "I don't think on the basis of 12 months, he will be a much sought after commodity amongst the higher echelon of Premier League football clubs." There was an argument for him being spoken to for Tottenham. I don't think that was ever a starter. I don't think he was going to get a look into Arsenal anytime soon. So where are we talking about? We're talking at the very, very best a sideways move from where Leicester were. Celtic star Jota made a joke of his flight from hell. Last season, after we clinched the league title, our Portuguese prodigy found himself in a rather unusual situation. He ended up on a flight packed to the brim with Rangers fans heading to the Europa League final. The Ibrox support gave Jota a hard time on the flight, the pinnacle of their airborne antics, slapping a Rangers sticker on Jota's hat. The incident, as you expect, made its way online. But if you think Jota was rattled, think again. Our man has a sense of humour. Recently, while posting holiday snaps with fellow teammate Carl Starfelt, Jota couldn't resist a cheeky dig. Commenting on Starfelt's Instagram post, he equipped for everyone wondering no Ryanair flights were taken this time. But let's be honest, we wouldn't have minded a repeat of that flight scenario. After all, it was that very flight that Jota signed a permanent basis for Celtic. Scoring in multiple derbies and playing a key role in our treble-winning season, he's been nothing short of a revelation. So who's really had the last laugh? Well, we think an answer is pretty clear. While the Rangers fans were busy sticking their badges on Jota's hat, our man was busy sticking the ball in their net. Out of contract former Celtic star Moussa Dembele is said to have been approached by several clubs since leaving Lyon at the end of the season. That's according to transfer specialist Fabrizio Romano, who tweeted an update this afternoon on the Frenchman as he ponders his next move. Romano tweeted, "Moussa Dembele has been approached by several clubs after leaving Lyon as a free agent. Understand Everton and Galatasaray are both informed on conditions of the deal, while Saudi clubs are also keeping tabs on Moussa's situation." Dembele remains an icon amongst the Celtic support. His 51 goals and 94 appearances for Celtic is an impressive strike rate, and his hat-trick in his Glasgow derby debut in the 5-1 rout of Rangers at Celtic Park made him an instant hero early into his Parkhead career. Ironically, if the move to Galatasaray happens, he will face former Rangers midfielder Ryan Kent, who sealed a move to Fenerbahce yesterday. On the negative side for Celtic, we will lose our potential sell-on fee due to the expiration of his contract, but I am sure all supporters will wish him the very best wherever he ends up. Celtic fans, what do you make of the news surrounding Frimpong? And did you tip him to go to the very top when he was at Paradise? Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. That brings us to the end of today's video, guys. Make sure you drop a like on this video and subscribe to the channel for more Celtic content. Thank you, take care, bye bye.